All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Please permit me to stand on already established protocols. Just to learn a voice before I dive into this. I was having a discussion with one of the key people here about maybe a month ago, and I was very happy when Professor Tuku made mention of the fact that it's more about gender equity rather than gender equality. I think that's where I stand. And it's not because I have anything against the female gender. I learned a very good lesson when we were going to have our first child. I was, quote and unquote, foolish enough to enter into the labor room. So after the first child, I told my wife that one is enough. I don't want another one again. But she convinced me that we should go for a second one. All right, so women, I really appreciate every one of you, and I think we should put our hands together for every woman here. All right. So I'll be speaking to us briefly on the cost data bank project of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. And one of the things that I would just like to quickly make us understand is that this project has been on for some time from different council to another. But I'm very happy to inform us that we are making very good progress this time around due to very good support from the current National Executive Council of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors. So what I'll be speaking to, I just outlined in the slide that you see, so I'll just rush through it. What we intend to offer at the end of the day, that's the cost data project, or bank project of the Institute, is that the benefits you'll be able to get is that there will be data availability, and then of course, data size. We know that in our respective organizations and firms, we have our own data, but we're hoping that we'll be able to aggregate all this data and have something better to offer to us, not just as a business model, but also a social infrastructure that the Institute is providing. And of course, also because we'll be having data veracity, because it's not based on data that is based on sources from one place. It's actually going to be all over the country. And of course, we hope that at the end, the product, you'll be able to have a very good experience making use of the product, because it's going to be in the cloud. That means you have access to it, and everything it will be in one place. It's going to be simple to use, and then of course it's going to be always available. We've had some cost data banks in the industry, in the country, which are mostly in physical form, but this one is going to be in a soft form. So I'll just skip this because of what we are looking at. And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier, that this project has started most recently, I would say, it started in 2015, and then from one council to the other. However, I think at one of my last public speaking on this, one of the past presidents made us understand that this project actually was conceived also some years back. And one of our past presidents here also made us understand that it's something that they've thought of for a very long time. So the beginning might not actually be from 2015. So the 2015 I'm talking about is when I was actively involved in the project. And presently, these screenshots that you have is what we have, though it's not available publicly, but for the committee that is working on it and all the other stakeholders that are involved, we have this presently. And you'll discover that, although this is not very clear, that we have different sections for basic price list, approximate estimate, labor rates, labor constants, basic cost indices, and also cost benchmarks, particularly for the infrastructure aspect of our industry. So it promises to be a very rich database, which we hope that we'll be able to make available to all that are interested or that will be interested in making use of it. So what is our product launch plan? The current council has tasked us that we should be able to have a minimum viable product that we can bring into the market latest by December 2024. Actually, we also have another pre-launch date or pre-release date of June, which is just next month, where we hope to be able to give access to some selected people to interrogate what has been done so far and provide feedback, which we can now work on and also tailor to meet the specific needs of our expected users. And because of this, we've had a meeting with our chapter chairman. That meeting was held last month, and we are expecting to have a list of data collectors that we're going to make use of, because this is very critical to the success of the program. And then, of course, we also will be looking out to reach out to individuals also to be able to provide the data that we need. We have a project timeline as shown on this slide, which we are working on. We're trying to make sure that we don't have too much slippage, even though I think we're already slipping a bit, but we'll try and gain ground in the coming months. The committee members, particularly for those of us that are quantity surveyors, we have myself as the chair, and then we have Dr. Samuel Ofide, who is a critical member and has been in this committee since 2015 also. Mr. Boka Wakili has also been in it. And then we have Mr. Ayofale, Mr. Roya Faderson, Stanley Oji, and Chijoke Michael, who have come in this particular committee now to help us to be able to go forward and achieve what we are meant to do. However, I think the critical aspect of my presentation is this slide, because if we don't have your buy-in, I'm talking about those in the built industry, professionals, if we don't have your buy-in, then it becomes difficult for us to be able to really succeed in this program. And it's not just because of those of us that are here, but we also expect that as we are making this presentation, that you will also reach out to other members that are not here and let them know what is coming and what we are working on. And of course, it's not just for information's sake, but we are trusting that they will be able to become part of our data collectors, if not actively, but passively in one way or the other. We expect... Hello? All right. Okay. So we expect data collectors to be involved. The chapter chairman have been told they are to nominate volunteer data collectors for us. And of course, we have been able to establish modalities for the delivery of the data. We have templates that we have already created, which we are just waiting to give to those who will be doing much of the data collection for us. And of course, apart from the basic price aspect that I mentioned, we expect to get a very huge amount of data that is going to inform the elemental cost database section of this project. And that will come mostly from firms and MDAs. And in that light, we'll need, and we're looking forward to interface with firms, anyone, because one of the challenges we discovered in 2016 was that some of the senior or partners or the proprietors of some of the firms may not have time. But we are hoping that they'll be able to nominate young members. That's why the chairman of the YQSF is also part of the committee, and we're also looking forward to interface with the YQSF so that some of their members can help us to be able to curate or mine this data from their establishment, of course with the approval of their principals, so that they can provide the information that we need. I think 2 weeks ago, last week thereabout, there was something that we're looking at, that a minimum of 1,000 projects to go into the database. And you know what that means. That means that all hands must be on deck, and we are trusting. We are just doing, for us, we look at it, this is just the first level. There is a higher level when we have enough data where we can begin to make it more robust. However, it is important that we establish this first level, and for this first level to succeed, you and I must be committed, and one of the key things you can do is to sell this idea to other members, and secondly, to also be a source of getting the data that we need for the cost database. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for that.